Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Live Tea Line Together. Let's get started with a new paper. So the title of the paper today is called Young Women Charged with Unlawfully Selling Alcoholic Cocktails. What a long title. So that's Young Women Charged with Unlawfully Selling Alcoholic Cocktails. Now, I want you to have a go at writing those words on your notepad, and I'll just run through them on the board. So, we should hopefully know that young is Y, and disjoined U indicates the ung. Now, women is WMN. My shortcut for women is to put a W just underneath the previous outline, slightly to the right-hand side, like we do for wood. So young women. If it was young men or young man, we would put an M. Okay, so we have young women, my shortcut here. Charge, now with charged, it is CHRGD. I omit the R to make a clearer outline. So we're just going to do CHGD. With is WI on the T line, special outline. Hopefully by now you're familiar with words beginning with un. We do a disjoined U indicator. So we have un, disjoined U indicator before the rest of the outline. Lawfully would be al, W, F, L, I. Selling is S-L-ing. Alcoholic is quite a long outline. It would be A, L, C, H, upwards L. You might choose to shorten that to ALC for the purpose of this paper. And then cocktails would be C, C, T, L, S. My second C was a little bit smaller, so we've got cocktails. Bear in mind that I am writing in a big board, trying to keep the notes as small as you can and close together. Quite a long title with some extremely difficult outlines, but nothing we can't handle. So note the title down on your pad, and now what we're going to do is do a quiz. Now, usually I quiz on groupings and specials, but today what I want to do is quiz on outlines that explore different theory concepts. Okay, I'm going to work with small groups of words first of all. Okay, so number one is the word trial, which you should be familiar with if you spent time on the court reporting series. So trial is number one. Just pat on the board in one hand. Followed by the word were. Court. Island. And arrested. Okay, so hopefully you've got something for each outline. Now you can press pause. Now trial, when T and R come together, we double the length of T to add R. So we've got longer than T, TR, and then L. The point of this is otherwise it has to go T, R, L. It gets this awful awkward angles. So double T to add R. So TR and L. Fabulous. Now where is a special outline, and it's a WR blend. So when we have WR together in a word, we extend the length of W to add R. So rather than going WR like that, we make it double as long. So we've got where. It's very important that you make sure that your proportions are correct. So you want to make sure that a normal T looks different to a double length T, roughly, of course, half the size. It can be hard when writing fast to get things spot on, but we try, of course. Now, next one is the word court. So we have C and T. Now, rather than going like this, C and T, let's get rid of this awkwardness and try and make a nice blend. So you see just blends into the T. Next, we have island. The S is silent, therefore we're left with I-L-N-D. Now, if we use an indicator I, it just blends into the L. Therefore, we're going to use a full I before the L. So full I before the L looks like so. I, L, a short bracket L, followed by the N in D. Next, we have arrested. Now, we have the A and R come together. So when A and R come together in a word, let's think about the word art. The rule is that we omit the R, we use a full vowel A, and we intersect the next letter. So art would look like this. Now, arrested, this is an example where the principal can make it a little bit too fiddly. So in theory, we would have a full A, and the ST goes through followed by the D. Now, arguably, that's quite fiddly to write. Therefore, in this case, it's actually slightly faster not to use the principal. So instead, we do ARSTD. It's not wrong to do this, but you can just see by putting that circle inside the S is a little bit awkward. So your R principal, use it most of the time, unless it makes the outline, well, I should say use it all of the time. Use it all of the time, the R principle, unless it makes the outline more difficult to write, which is, of course, is a personal preference. Okay, so that's our first 5 words. There are some more coming. So the first one we have is the word illegal. Just get rid of that letter there. Okay, so number 1 is illegal. Followed by frozen. Drinks. Containing, and the last one is euros. So you can press pause and have a go at those. I'm going to go through them now. So illegal, just like with island, we want a full I before the L for clarity. Then we have the bracket, or what we call a downwards L, a sharp L, that joins better to the G, and then up with the L after a G, illegal. I'll outline that one. Now, letter Z. So when we get the letter Z, sometimes people freeze and think, oh, I can't remember what letter Z was, or how do I put this into a word? It's quite difficult. A letter Z, as we know, is this small little outline like this, the writing line. It's almost like a baby number 9 almost, or a baby longhand G. It's a very small outline. Now, if a word begins with a Z, we use a Z. If a Z comes up in the middle of a word and makes like frozen, arguably a slightly S sound, frozen, depends how you pronounce it. But in short, if we have a Z in the middle of the word, then we change it to an S because it's easier to write. So frozen will be FRSN. Now, if you did the Z, let's just see, it'd be FR and have this kind of little 9 shape, then an N. Not too bad, it's not too bad. You see the S is smoother and makes a clearer outline. Next, we have the word drinks. So when we have D and R together, we double the length of D to add R. So we've got your DR here. And then when a word ends with or contains ink, we do a disjoined IC. So drinks will be DR, IC for ink, and add the S to make it inks. So drinks. Containing. So here we have a CN blend. So when you first perhaps tried to write the word can, you probably did something like this, C and like N, something like that, can, which of course isn't correct because we're not using the blend. Now, the CN blend looks like this. It's the C that's sort of like on its back almost upside down, then the other side of the N. So if I do it really big, the C sits here, and this is the stick of the N, and that is your CN blend. So that would say can, also a special outline for council, and a special outline for county if it's on the T line. So containing in the T position for the T in the word, we've got CN, TN, and ing. So CN, TN, ing. My T went a little bit wobbly there. Now just notice how I'm blending the T to the N. So I'm not doing this TN, I'm blending it down just to make it smoother and faster. So I've got con, tain, ing. Okay, now Euros, we have the R principle where U and R come together. The E is silent, therefore that's gone. And we're going to use a full vowel U. We're omitting the R and we're intercepting the O indicator in S, so Euros. Now, usually we omit the medial vowels, but Euros, we do keep the O in to make a clearer outline. So we have Euros there. So interesting theory here, I think, today. Okay, we have a few more to do. Bear with while I just get rid of this. So number one, I just want to have a go at these while I've just get rid of these words in blood. We have the word large. And number two is the word cooler. So C-double-O-L-E-R. So large, cooler. Next we have the word bees. Followed by, now this is, this can be written as a phrase, as one outline. But I want you to have a go at writing individual words if you don't know how to put it together. And this is an outline that I didn't know before the wonderful Joe Goodall introduced me to it. So yeah, that's one that I learned some years ago now. However, it's very useful and I still use it today. If you're not sure, you can write whether or not is 3 separate words. Then I want you to have a go at writing the word terrible. Have to apologise for my messy long hand. It's why I'm a shorthand tutor. And the last one is the word crime. So you can hit pause and take a second just to think about those. There's no rush. You can work this at your own pace, which is the beauty of technology. Okay, I'm assuming you paused, have a go. So when L and R come together in a word, we extend L. Why do we do this? Without that, we'd have to do this. L, R, G. Not a very nice outline. So if we extend the L to add R like so, L, R, in G, it's a smooth outline, it's easy to write down, easier to read back, and these all help towards building speed. Now, if I was to write the word, let's say leg, it would be a normal size L. If I had a word like plug, it would be a normal size L for PL in G. So at distance, or if you showed perhaps your friend these 3 outlines, it'd say, they're all the same, there's no difference. But we know, because of shorthand pros, that L doubles for R. A normal size L sits where it should do on the writing line, and a PL blend cuts the line. Okay, so large you've got there. Next we have the word cooler. So if we were to write cool, we would have C and L. Now cooler, the L doubles to add R. So we're going to have C, and the L doubles to add R. Next we have the word these. Now the word these can be problematic. It's a very common word, but it can be misread or even written down the wrong way. And it can sometimes be written as those, or maybe even this. You may get those 3 outlines confused, which can incur errors which we can't really afford to be getting for such common words. So these is just THS. We differentiate between these and those by adding an O indicator, THO indicator S. And if we want to write the word this, we have TH and S, and the H goes in the direction of the I indicator. Now, when I was learning my theory, I would make post-it notes. I'd make a note saying, okay, with the O, we have the O indicator for those, the I stands for the I in this. Sorry, the H stands for the I in this. And these is just THS, so standard outline. Nothing fancy with that one. So I'd make a note of these to make sure that's getting the difference and that they were distinguished. We call these distinguished outlines because technically they all reduce to THS, but they need to look different to aid accurate transcription. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that above. Just pop back here. I think my face might be in the way. Okay, whether or not. So whether, we argue we don't sound the H. So we have a W and a THR blend. And THR is like double length T. So we have W, we have a long T for THR. Now, if you've written it separately, you've hopefully written whether like this, or is a full O for the writing line and not as NT. So that would be the answer as separate outlines. However, to put it together, we can just do this. Whether, now we are going to raise the M of not, so that we know it's a separate word. So whether, not, it looks like whether or not. And terrible, hopefully we're familiar now with TR, like in trial. We double T to add R, and words that end in ibble, we do a disjoint full I. So terrible. Last of all, we have the word crime, which we reference often during the court reporting papers. And this is where we have the R principle again applied to CR. We omit the C and the M goes inside. Almost looks like something's like a crab is like eating the M almost. The point of this, if we kept the R in it, it'd look like this, CRM. It's not the worst outline in the world, but it's certainly not as tight as this one. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful, just looking at some theory. You may have a few gaps here and there and want a beginner series to just to re-embed some knowledge. It might be a principle that you are aware of but don't put into practice. So you can always use the videos over on the beginners. Okay, so now it's your time to pause and drill, and we're going to go for this paper. So the paper, as mentioned, is called Young Women Charged with Unlawfully Selling Alcoholic Cocktails, and it's 2 minutes at 60 words a minute. So many of you may be preparing for your 60 or may have recently taken a 60. Either way, it's all good revision. So title is here, Young Women Charged with Unlawfully Selling Alcoholic Cocktails. So I'm going to drill the title, and I'm going to have it the full 2 minutes at 60. Okay, ready. Young women charged with unlawfully selling alcoholic cocktails. Young women charged with unlawfully selling alcoholic cocktails. Young women charged with unlawfully selling alcoholic cocktails. Okay, so I'm going to have a quick drink to give my very better reading voice. I'll be 1 moment. Okay, so imagine you're at court, you're in court, in the courtroom, pen's ready to go. You've got to get the story down accurately to be transcribed, to go to press this afternoon. So feel some urgency in this. Remember, I'm going to try and get a note down for every single word. Okay. So good luck. Here is 2 minutes at 60 words a minute. Let's go. Two women stand trial today after they were caught selling alcoholic cocktails at a beach on a Greek island. The offence took place in August 2022. Amy and her twin sister, Michelle Johnson, both aged 29, were arrested when police searched for illegal vendors. They were selling frozen drinks containing rum and vodka for €15 each. A car in Michelle's name was parked nearby. When searched, around 100 drinks were found in large cooler boxes. They were clearly prepared to sell them later that day. We do not know how much alcohol these drinks contained and whether or not they had been selling them to minors. This terrible crime must be taken seriously. Okay, so quite difficult, some hard words, some really interesting vocab we're going to look through. Let's check back. Just going to quickly open a new just quickly opening a new page. Okay, so let's go through outline. Just bear with 1 moment. I'll just get the pen. Okay, so two women stand trial today. So we've got two. Ideally, you want to circle number 2. We've got W for women. Now, I write number 2 as just a T. So you can do that, but I know it's usually quite ingrained with people to use the actual number, which is also fine. So two women. Then we've got stand trial today, so STND. We've got trial, which we had. Today is TD, special outline. After is a full A, special outline. We could group they were. Court is CT, which we had. Selling is SL-ing, the title. Alcoholic was also in the title, so we have alcoholic. We have cocktails as well, which we have recitals and my seed. We have cocktails at the title. Now, because you had the title beforehand, you could have made something short of alcoholic cocktails, but you could have just done something like maybe A with like a CKS through, or A and CCS through, something like that. Could have made your own little acronym, your own shortcut for that phrase. So that is always an option for your title, especially when you have hard words in your title, fiddly words. You can always try and shorten them. So just to be clear, you could put like a full A for alcoholic and perhaps a C for cocktail singular, and cocktails we could intersect C and S. To be clear, this isn't theory related, this is just using initiative and make your title as easy as you can. Okay, so let me continue. We've got, so 2 women stand trial today after they were caught selling alcoholic cocktails at a beach on a Greek island. At is A indicates on a T line. We've got A. Beach is B. E indicates CH. We've got on, L, and blend. A. Greek is your R principle applied to GR, so you've got a G, and then we would intersect the K. You may actually find it easier to keep the R in and put the K like so. Again, up to you. This is marginally faster in my opinion. And we had islands, so we've got I, L, and D. Make sure the dashes, punctuation marks are below Greek for your proper noun. Okay, then we have the event took place in August 2022. So you've got the offence, C for offence, took place, PLC, in August. So August is just AG org. And again, just pop in your markers below for proper noun. 2022, so we've got 2022, if you can, circle your number for clarity. Then we have Amy and her twin sister, Michelle Johnson, both aged 29, were arrested when police searched for illegal vendors. That was a really long sentence, that one was. So when the names come up, it can be a little bit tricky. So Amy is AMI. We've got and, her is HR. Twin is TWN. Sister is quite an awkward outline. We have to maintain the I, which comes between the two S's, and cis. Maintain the I. So we've got SISTR. Another word we have the same opening to the outline is the word system, SISTM. Bit of fiddly, takes a lot of practice, that does. So Amy handed twin sister Michelle. So they've got MCH upwards L. Then we've got surname was Johnson, so that'd be JNSN. Both age, so we've got BTH for both, age is AGD, 29, just try and circle your numbers. Where we've discussed arrested already, so ARSTD, discussed that in the questions. Well, I discussed it to you. I always feel like I'm teaching somebody when I do these lessons, even though, of course, we'll watch at different times. I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, which is nice. So, we're arrested when. So with when, you can maintain the H, or you can do a WN if that's assertive, that's easier for you. So we've got arrested or when. To be clear, I do WN, the shortcut, but you will see WHN in textbooks, etc. Police, P for police, searched is SRCHD. For is FR blend. We had illegal, so full I, L, G, L. Vendors is a VN blend, DRS, end of sentence. Illegal vendors. Okay, so just to be clear, just quickly within that sentence. So Amy and her twin sister, Michelle Johnson, both aged 29, were arrested when police searched for illegal vendors. Okay, so let's go to the next section. We're a minute in. So next we have, they were selling frozen drinks containing rum and vodka for €15 each. So just ignore this sentence for now, just save you looking at. So we've got they were, which we can join. Selling, which we've already had. We had frozen drinks in the questions. And we had containing rum. So we're gonna keep the U indicator in. for the M to get a clearer join. Otherwise, we'd have R to an M. It's a bit messy. And vodka would be a V, D, C, A indicator. For €15 each, they've got 4. 15. I've already mentioned how to write euros. Each is EC on the T line, no H. Okay. Next sentence was, a car in Michelle's name was parked nearby. So we've got a car in Michelle's with an S in the end. Name is NM. We've got was. Parked is PRCD. And nearby is NRBI. I have to apologise how awful my scribbling out is there. Sorry about that. Just ignore it. Okay. So they were selling a frozen drink containing rum and vodka for €15 each. Expensive. A car in Michelle's name was parked nearby. Okay, so let's look at the next sentence. We have, when searched, around 100 drinks were found in large cooler boxes. So whichever way you're writing when, we've got when searched, SRCHD. Around is your AR rule, so full A, intersect ND. The quickest way to write 100 is to put the on and the DR. Try and get into the habit of using the shorthand 100, that DR blend. Drinks is DR and inks, which you've already had. Where is that long W? Found is downwards F and D. We've got in. Large is LR blend in G. Cooler is C and LR. Then boxes, you've got B, X, and S. Boxes. Now, in my opinion, with the X, it doesn't really matter if you cross down or if you go up, you of course are writing going forward, you're in a better position going forward. You will see in some text it goes down. So again, it's up to you. There, the boxes. I tend to go that way, I think. It's hard to know until you actually do it automatically. Okay, so next we have, they were clearly prepared to sell them later that day. So we've got they were, clearly, we've got C, LR again, clear, and then LY becomes I. Prepare, so prepare is just 2 P's, special outline. Add the D to make it prepared. T for 2, sell. Them is THM. And I'm going to show you a fancy way to write the phrase later that day. We have L long T for TR. This TR becomes the T of that, later that, and then just a D for day, later that day. Okay, the next sentence is a long one. So we can make some space. We do not know how much alcohol these drinks contained and whether or not they have been selling them to minors. So we've got we is a W, do not, we've got DNT, no is NO, how is HW, much is MC on the T line, alcohol we've had, these we've had, drinks we've had. We had containing, so contained will be CNTND, contained. And whether or not, so we've got whether, not, they. We could group they had been. Right, that goes a little bit neater. So we've got they, HD, B. Selling them to minors. And then MNRS for minors. This terrible crime must be taken seriously. So I've mentioned how to write the word this, and we discussed the differences between this, these, and those. terrible, this terrible crime, which we have crime, must be a nice grouping. So MST, bring the B over, must be. Taken is TCN. And then just to flag before I give it forward, you may be taken like this. It's a little bit more awkward. It's slightly longer to write. Try and do the left version if you can. Now, shorthand can be frustrating for many reasons and also wonderful for many reasons. But one comment I often hear, especially when teaching privately, and I'll teach people different ways to write things, is can't we just have one way to write things? And that's the way that we do it. Well, shorthand's a flexible skill. You can put your own spin on things once your theory, your knowledge is really deeply grounded. You can write things in your own style, your own way. You will have different tutors that'll teach things different ways. You'll see different textbooks that show outlines written different ways. Everything you see on this channel or in a textbook, or what you've been taught, something you've been taught by a tutor, will be correct, but there are often options of how to write things. Not always, some words just stay the same, but there are options. And of course, when you write fast, things don't always turn out as we want them to. They will try. So taken and then seriously. So we have serious, which is SRS. Then LY becomes I, just like up there, seriously. Okay, so just to go over that last section we had, we do not know how much alcohol these drinks contained and whether or not they had been selling them to minors. This terrible crime must be taken seriously. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson as much as I enjoyed delivering it. I could talk for hours, as you can probably imagine. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you'd like to see more of on the channel, please let us know in the comment box. Myself and Joe, we love what we do, and we really enjoy writing material and bringing the material to you every week. But of course, anything else you would like to see more of, then keep us posted. So remember, guys, don't get worried, never get stressed. Let's keep loving T-line together. Thank you and see you next time.